Today on the Morning Edition, PFD under pressure. A plan to cap your dividend and limit who qualifies is up for public testimony today. What House Bill 209 could mean for your wallet. Plus, incredible caught-on-camera video. An avalanche barrels down a popular Alaska hiking spot. As warm weather loosens the snowpack, just a reminder how even on a sunny day, you still need to watch out for Mother Nature. And later, he's been taking out the garbage for decades. Now this driver is taking home hardware. Why the industry's Oscars of trash put the spotlight on the man who's mastered the art of cleanup. As the Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on a Monday, starting a new week, and of course, coming off an absolutely gorgeous weekend.
I really could not complain. Those temperatures, 50, 60, stretch of sunshine was in the forecast.
And for Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we were really in for a treat. And of course, we are waking up this morning. Rain has made a return to South Central. And we are expected to see this rain stick around for the vast majority of today, where we are going to see the potential for anywhere from about 1/4 of an inch to nearly 1/2 an inch for inland areas of South Central. And we're also going to see those temperatures not expecting to budge much throughout the day. We may see temperatures rise a few more degrees, but for the most part, we are going to see those temperatures today topping out in the mid to upper 40s across the vast majority of South Central. So that rain, you can see how widespread it is this morning. We've got 49 in Palmer, 43 in Golcana, 46 degrees in Valdez. Those overcast skies, those built in through the overnight hours. In fact, when we look at the satellite radar over the last 12 hours, notice how the evening hours yesterday, it was pretty nice. And then after about 11 p.m. to midnight, that's when that rain began to spread back in across South Central, really thickening up and becoming widespread this morning. We've already seen some of that rain already amounting to significant amounts out towards parts of Prince William Sound. We're going to be seeing the potential for up to an inch of accumulation of that rainfall through Prince William Sound through the remainder of the day. So our system out towards the Bering, we've got some rain, even some possible areas of wintry mix out towards the Pribilof Islands. But you can see that rain gripping southwest Alaska here in South Central. So for today, we're going to keep this rain around in the forecast. Temperatures, again, not expecting to budge much for the vast majority of the region. Where you're seeing those temperatures at this morning, that's roughly where we're going to be at through the remainder of today. And this wet weather, you can see inland areas could see the potential for up to 1/2 an inch of rainfall, while coastal regions will see anywhere from about 1/2 an inch to nearly an inch, although Homer will be shielded from most of that activity. Good news is we will see some drier conditions in the days ahead. I'll have more on that in that 7-day coming up.
Alaska loves their PFD, but, we're looking at, tough financial times. We don't have very much left in savings. So, eventually we're going to really have to face this issue.
But with the state savings running low, lawmakers are debating who should still get a dividend check and who also might be cut out. We begin this morning with Capitol coverage. A controversial proposal to cap the permanent fund dividend and limit who qualifies is up for public comment today. House Bill 209, sponsored by Representative Zach Fields of Anchorage, would set a permanent $1,000 limit on PFD payouts. It would also bar individuals making more than $50,000 a year or couples making over $100,000 from receiving a check.
So I think our choices going forward are, number one, we can do nothing and the dividend will wither away and be gone in about 3 to 4 years. That's the reality with falling oil prices. Or we can raise a lot of revenue, or we can raise a fairly modest amount of revenue and means test the PFD.
That $50,000 mark is too low. There are people making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 who have families and are struggling. So we would need to raise that. And it's too conservative because $1,000 is too little. So we would need to raise that.
The bill is currently under review in the House Judiciary Committee. The public hearing on that bill is set for today in Juneau. Governor Dunleavy is threatening to veto a major education funding bill unless lawmakers add provisions he supports. House Bill 57, it cleared the legislature, and districts like Anchorage have already started making budget decisions with that money in mind. But now that funding may be in jeopardy. The governor says changes must be made or he'll strike the bill. School officials say the uncertainty is disruptive, and some parents tell us it's adding unnecessary stress at home, too.
It's really confusing. It's disheartening. It feels like public schools are under attack by the governor. We wish we had more support.
It's hard to make a decision when things keep going up and down. Understand that it has to be balanced. The budget has to be balanced. We have to know where we're spending the money, but it would be nice to have a decision made so we can do proper planning for next year.
I am very disappointed and so sad to see so many students be affected in all the programs that they love doing.
Our school was talking about going from, we're currently at 27 kids in our class to, 30 plus. That's not sustainable. It's not fair to the teachers. It's not fair to the kids.
We didn't know if all our teacher positions were going to be funded or if our librarian and our nurse, we weren't sure if we'd get to keep them. And it just makes you wonder, is Anchorage the place to raise a family when you can't count on schools remaining funded and being a good place for our kids?
Some of the changes the governor is asking for include open enrollment, which would allow students to go to schools outside their districts, as well as giving more power to charter schools. House lawmakers rejected the Senate's version of the state operating budget. House Bills 53 and 55 cleared the Senate last week, with senators stressing the need to balance the budget. But on Friday, the House voted both measures down. Key differences remain between the two chambers, including that $1,000 dividend in the Senate version versus a $1,400 dividend backed by the House. The vote now triggers a conference committee, which will try to merge the Senate's budget plan with the House version passed last month.
We're going the wrong way because all we've heard all year is that our budget's going to be that much worse next year. And who knows the year after that? So if it's the intent to not concur in order to add more to the budget and reduce the dividend, I can't agree with that.
I've heard that this budget is just a wish list, that it's just an aspiration. We even heard that it's a letter to Santa. And Mr. Speaker, just very briefly, I want to say that this body took a wish list, letter to Santa budget and turned it into something that was much more substantively realistic than what we received.
Once lawmakers reach a final agreement, the budget bill will head to Governor Mike Dunleavy, who has the power to veto individual line items. The legislative session ends May 21st. Supporting recreation and education in Fairbanks, the North Star Borough Assembly passed its annual budget. Members voted to keep a threatened pool open and approved a boost in school funding, adding nearly $3 million to their local education contribution, bringing it to nearly $5 million more than last year.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and it's affecting the most vulnerable populations of our community. And we heard from them using Mary Sy, and very compelling testimony.
I think with the right management, it should be viable. And I think we just need people who are in the community that care about it with a degree of passion.
The final budget passed 6-3 and takes effect on July 1st. Well, doors are shut this morning on a longtime Cars Safeway store in Anchorage's Fairview neighborhood. The company didn't give a specific reason for closing the Gamble Street location for good, but a spokesperson says the decision wasn't made lightly. In a statement, Cars Safeway said it's focused on growth, and sometimes that means closing stores that aren't meeting financial expectations. Nearly 1,000 gallons of diesel fuel spilled near the Yukon River last month, and now local Alaskans are demanding answers. State officials say a truck owned by Bryce Inc. It leaked fuel while parked at Yukon River Camp. The spill was about 650 feet from the river, but quick action helped prevent any contamination. The fuel has been cleaned up, contaminated gravel removed, and samples are now being tested to ensure that the area is safe.
If you see something, to speak up right away. That's what happened in this. It was somebody who was staying at Coldfoot Camp or Yukon River Crossing Camp. Somebody saw something. Somebody spoke up right away. They called it into our spill reporting line. And so the sooner that we know about something, the sooner we can support working with the responsible party and getting the footprint minimized.
Despite the rapid cleanup, Native Alaskan Tribes are speaking out, saying that they were never notified about the spill and should have been informed immediately.
It's very irresponsible to not be in communication with the people who live there, because we're going to have to live with these impacts. So once they're done extracting and taking what they want and they leave, we're going to be stuck with these harmful impacts.
For more information on what caused the diesel fuel spill and for what comes next for the area, visit our website or mobile app. The Alaska Department of Natural Resources is carrying out controlled burns near Anchorage this week. The burn area stretches from Hilltop Ski Area to the Prospect Heights trailhead. Smoke will be highly visible across the city, but officials urge residents not to call 911. Fire crews will remain on site around the clock. Trail closures include the Hilltop single track and all trails that are south of the upper gas line. You can find more details on our website. Well, signs of summer are popping up.
Any day now, we should see the first king.
Signs of summer are popping up across Anchorage, and soon all eyes will be on Ship Creek. Last year's king and silver salmon runs, they were so weak, both fisheries were shut down to protect hatchery stocks. Biologists still know little about what happens to Alaska's salmon while they're out at sea, but with the first king salmon expected any day now, there's cautious optimism for a stronger run this year.
This is a natural resource, and there's a lot of factors in play, and we could just hope, pray, and hopefully these fish will return.
A new lawsuit could force federal officials to act faster on protecting Gulf of Alaska king salmon. The Wild Fish Conservancy says the government missed a deadline to decide whether to list the species as threatened or endangered. According to the Alaska Beacon, the group is asking a judge to step in and set a firm timeline. Alaska's Fish and Game Commissioner calls the lawsuit routine and says the decision is getting close. The group argues king salmon are in trouble due to bycatch, climate change, and habitat loss. After the break, President Trump heads to the Middle East while a possible private jet gift sparks backlash at home, and why Senate Democrats say it's foreign influence with extra legroom. The latest from our nation's capital.
Widespread rain has made a return to South Central, which will stick around through the vast majority of today. I'll have more on that, what to expect in the days ahead. But first at sunrise, 5:19 in Anchorage, 4:36 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
Well, check this out. All this warm weather, it may have played a role in an avalanche. This was caught on camera over the weekend. Sunday afternoon, just before 3, a slide poured down the slopes above the Byron Glacier Trail. This is near Portage Lake. The snow and debris covered part of the popular hiking route, but fortunately no one was injured. Warm temps can destabilize snowfields and ice, triggering natural slides like this one, but just a good reminder that even on a sunny day, Alaska's wilderness deserves respect. Just crazy. It was caught on camera. I don't know if you've been out to that glacier, Aaron. We do that a couple times when we have friends in town, but just to see that, it's wow.
Yeah, really nice hiking trail out there. And you really want to watch out for some of those slopes when you're walking or doing any of those hiking trails. Those 30-degree slopes tend to lead to that potential for some of those natural avalanches that could be dangerous. And as we've already talked about, we are at the mercy of Mother Nature, even on those sunny days. Now, the avalanche forecast, those have stopped since April 27th. So now as you head outdoors into the backcountry or just out in the mountains, it's certainly, you want to make sure of the conditions as you get outdoors with those sunnier skies. Of course, rain has made a return to South Central. Notice it's going to stick around through most of the day. We may see some dry breaks throughout the afternoon hours, but overall expect this wet weather pattern to remain with us for our Monday. In fact, as we continue to progress through the rest of May, you can see a good portion of the state will continue to hold on to these wet conditions. With that said, we'll still see ample opportunities for some dry conditions this week. Really expecting the return of some sunshine as we welcome in our Tuesday. So by no means are we going to be talking about widespread rain all week long, but there's our low out towards the Bering, spreading rain through Norton Sound, the Yukon Delta, Southwest Alaska, South Central, and eventually later today, impacting areas of the interior and also out towards southeast. Many areas across the state saw a nice Mother's Day weekend. You can see that persistent south to southwesterly flow continuing to pull in that moisture, and as a result of that, we are going to continue to see the potential for anywhere from about a 1/4 of an inch to nearly an inch of rain across the vast majority of South Central. We're not talking about any significant rain accumulation, but we could see the potential for up to an inch out towards Prince William Sound. Notice the rain building into southeast as well, although nowhere near what we're seeing across South Central. And then into the overnight hours on into tomorrow, the rain does begin to taper off across parts of South Central. We'll still keep that chance for some early morning showers tomorrow, and then of course parts of parts of the interior will still hold on to that chance for some rain. So we'll catch a break into our Tuesday, and then as we welcome in Wednesday, we'll see the return to some coastal rain in the forecast. Inland areas of South Central will largely stay on the dry side, but cloud coverage will make a return later this week. So keep in mind, we will see some sunshine returning tomorrow, and then cloud coverage back in the forecast by Wednesday. So looking at that expected rainfall across the state from southwest Alaska through south central parts of the interior and southeast, you can see these persistent showers will bring the potential for some accumulation up to about 0.2 of an inch out towards Bethel, as well as Fairbanks. Here in Anchorage, we could see up to 0.5 an inch with lighter amounts out towards southeast, most likely seeing less than about 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. So our best chance of rain today in Anchorage, as well as inland areas of South Central, will stay with us through early tomorrow morning. And while coastal rain will remain, inland areas will see that potential for some sunshine returning throughout this week. For southeast today, those temperatures topping out in the low to mid 50s, those light rain showers building back in, and we could see some winds up to about 40 miles per hour. Up to 1/2 an inch of rain across the Kenai. We will see some breezy conditions today. Nothing significant, but winds could be about 20 to 35 miles per hour. Temperatures will also be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than what we did see through the weekend. So we are certainly going to feel some of that cooler weather. We managed to break into the 60s through the valley this weekend. Notice today we'll likely stay in the upper 40s and lower 50s. And for many locations, our afternoon highs will only be a few degrees from what we're currently sitting at this morning. There's that chance for AM showers and sunshine returning tomorrow, and then through the rest of the week, those mostly cloudy skies.
All right, thanks, Aaron. New this morning, the White House announced a temporary cool down to the U.S. and China trade war after a weekend of talks. But first, today, President Trump will embark on his first big overseas trip of his second term for business talks in 3 of the world's richest nations. But a possible gift of an airplane from one of those countries is drawing scrutiny. Naomi Ruckham has more from New York.
President Donald Trump is facing new criticism as he sets off for the Middle East today. Qatar confirms that it is considering the possible transfer of a luxurious jumbo jet to the president for his temporary use, though it won't happen during his trip because the plane has to be checked for security and spy devices first. The transfer is also subject to legal review. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer on X calling the plane premium foreign influence with extra legroom. President Trump hit back on social media, describing the plane as a gift, claiming it's a very public and transparent transaction. Meanwhile, overnight, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said he'll be in Turkey Thursday, challenging Russian President Vladimir Putin to also show up for ceasefire negotiations. Overnight, a breakthrough in trade talks between U.S. and Chinese officials.
Both sides on the reciprocal tariffs will move their tariffs down 115%.
With the White House announcing both sides have agreed to a reduction of tariffs for at least 90 days as part of their trade negotiations. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
President Trump also announced he'll sign an executive order this morning that aims to lower prescription drug costs. On social media, the president said, quote, "I will be instituting a most favored nations policy whereby the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world." A new study suggests the nation's opioid crisis may be far worse than official reports show. The RAND Corporation found 11% of American adults used illegal opioids like fentanyl in the past year, much higher than the less than 1% estimate from federal data. Researchers say illicit drug use is being widely underreported, and that could mean policies aren't matching the real scope of the crisis. A surprising side effect of popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, they may help people drink less. A study from the University of College Dublin found that users of semaglutide cut their alcohol intake by nearly 2/3, likely because the drug reduces cravings.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's News Source app.